1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good day, greetings to you in the name of our King Jesus Christ. Now I put my phone on silent so it won't bother us. I greet you all in the name of King of Kings, Jesus Christ, and today the subject matter of this video is a rather very interesting one. Syria. Will Syria become the new hotspot, hotbed of Islamist jihad against Israel and the West? Will Syria become the new proxy? Will the current regime in Syria become the new proxy again, a new proxy in war against Israel? But this time, the masters behind this proxy force is no more Iran. It is a new one that is rising in prominence in the Middle East. It's been in the making for many years and it is now happening. Turkey is rising and flexing its muscles in the Middle East. And where does that all fall into Bible prophecy? There are two specific prophecies in the Bible regarding Syria directly mentioned, listed there. That is, one of them is Isaiah 17, the total destruction of the city of Damascus to the extent that it will not be inhabited anymore. And the other one, of course, that is involving Turkey and even Iran, and also some European nations from Russia to Germany. That is Ezekiel 38. Now, there are very interesting developments. When Assad regime was thrown over by apparently innocent but freedom-seeking people, the whole world was cheering and there was the prospect of potential democracy and people being set free from warlords and religious dominance over them. But the newcomers, it turns out that they are not any better than the previous master over that nation. So what happened is, in the last 2-3 weeks' time, a rebel group who call themselves HTS, which is now by the whole world recognized that the leader of this group and the prominent forces behind this group are jihadists in their nature. And they are backed by Turkey, one of the most prominent military and diplomatic forces in the region. In fact, Turkey is the second largest army in the NATO, only after the US. Now, this is an important detail. As we look into all these developments and try to fit them into Bible prophecy, we're going to see how all these things are just so amazing in their nature and how close we are to the really physical coming, the coming of Jesus Christ to fetch the church. That is the rapture, not the physical coming. Now, friends, there is so much on this, my preparation notes here. I'm going to go one by one. First, as you know, in the last few weeks' time, this rebel group came with a sweeping power and sweeping force, and they overthrew the regime of Assad in Syria. Assad ran away to Russia and left his country in the hands of these rebels. And it turned out that these rebels were not just on their own, they were backed by Turkey. They were supplied with training and weapons by Turkey even to this day. And it turned out that Turkey had, well, it is a known fact for those people who have been watching the dynamics in the region for many years, that the current regime in Turkey for many years have been eyeing Syria and further down Jerusalem. It is a known fact that the current president or prime minister of Turkey, well, he's now not anymore prime minister, he's President Erdogan in Turkey. He is very critical about Israel and he has been threatening Israel over the last few years, especially since October 7. So it is a known fact that Turkey is not friendly with Israel for many years. And now, when the rebel forces entered in Syria, they came although as if they were friendlies. They wanted to establish democracy and give freedom to people. But only in a matter of days it became apparent to the whole world that the current regime is actually a split away group from other Islamist jihadist organizations and backed by Turkey, and they are not apologetic even, they are not even apologizing about their Islamist outlook to the world. And they immediately began establishing various aspects of the Islamist rule of law in the country, which is also known as Sharia law, Islamist religious law in the country. Now, more and more, Syria is becoming like what Afghanistan is. It's becoming more and more an Islamist regime ruled by very radical Islamist leaders. But there is another twist in the matter. Turkey is backing them. Turkey being the second largest military force, second biggest military force in the NATO, and definitely being the indisputably the biggest military force in the Middle East, backing them. Now, what happened is when Assad fell, there were 13 losers and 13 winners in the dynamics of the Middle East. Loser number one has been Iran. Assad was backed by Iran. When Assad was overthrown, Iran lost it. Hezbollah lost it. Iran lost it. And together with them, Russia lost it. So it was the axis of evil, if I can put it that way, between Iran and Russia and Hezbollah. And Assad regime was playing into their hands, and they were keeping Assad in power. Russia will be using certain Iranian territory for their interests in the region. Iran and Russia will be using Syria to support Hezbollah. Hezbollah then from Lebanon will continue to attack Israel. And this was also, all of this, Syria and Iran and Hezbollah, all of them are a specific sect of Islam, a division of Islam. It's called the Shiite sect. Now, this was the glue that kept these people together. Although they are Islamists, they were from the Shiite sect of Islam, or the Shiite denomination of Islam. On the other hand, there is Turkey, and there is ISIS, and there is the other Islamist movements that are from the other opposing sect of Islam or denomination of Islam, which is known as Sunnis. Shiite and the Sunnis don't want to sit around the same campfire. They don't want to share the autonomy or power of dominance. So Iran and Syria and Hezbollah, being the Shiites, they were the end of the spear in Islamic uprising against Israel in the last nearly a decade. Now, when Assad was thrown over, when Hezbollah was weakened, and when Iran is weakened, the Shiite dominance in wars against Israel is now going away. It's gone away. Assad lost it, Iran lost it, Russia together with them lost it. When they lost, there is a power vacuum now in the Middle East. Who is filling that power vacuum? Definitely the indisputed number one winner of the situation is Turkey. Turkey is quickly moving in, taking control of territories through her proxies, of course. Not so much so with Turkish boots and Turkish army rolling down the plains of Syria, but the proxies, elements, militant elements that are backed by Turkey are moving in. In fact, they are already there. They have established this Islamist regime, and they are further establishing Islamist rule of law. Turkey has a double agenda here, I see. Number one, Turkey is at odds. Turkey is not friendlies with the Kurdish people in the northeast of Syria. So Turkey also wants to use the Kurdish elements in the northeast of Syria under control through these proxies. But not only that, Turkey in the recent years have been very outspoken against Israel and against their dislike of Israeli government. And in fact, in many occasions, Turkish government has referred to Jerusalem as their rightful territory. referring to it as Turkey was once controlled by the Ottoman Empire, and it will be again controlled by the Turks. So Turkey has also her agendas and ambitions regarding the Middle East. But what puts Turkey and the rebel groups in Syria together is not only geopolitical interests, but also their religious interests. Both Turkey and the rebel groups in Syria right now are Sunni Muslims. So they, as opposed to Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah, the HTC, current ruling rebel groups in Syria and Turkey, are Sunni Muslims. And in fact, majority of the Muslim world are Sunnis. Shiites are a small minority. And Turkey, being Sunni Muslim country, they, rightfully so, they see a great opportunity here, opportunity to bring together all the Sunni Muslim nations under Turkish-led coalition against the great devil Israel, against the great enemy Israel. They refer to Israel as actually the small devil, and the big devil, it will be America. The great devil will be America. So there is this Islamist agenda, and this agenda right now is not being played out very openly, but it is going to be played out very, very clearly and openly. It's only a matter of time. Israelis, at the same time, can read all these things. They can see all these things coming. And that is the reason why, as soon as Assad left Syria, Israelis, being able to predict all these things, started destroying all the military facilities, weapons depots, military research infrastructures of Assad regime. That is the reason why Israelis have sent hundreds of times fighters and drones and missiles to destroy all the military infrastructure and weapons and military capabilities that Assad left behind. The reason for that is very, very clear. Israelis can see. Now Assad is gone, Shiite Muslims are gone, Sunni Muslims are moving into Syria, and they are taking over this land. And they will only look for the most opportune time to turn their weapons against Israel. It's only a matter of time. It is not a matter of maybe it will happen or maybe not. It is going to happen. It's only when will it happen. So knowing this, Israelis made a very smart move. And they knocked out the military capabilities that is left behind by Assad regime. Furthermore, Israelis moved their forces onto the Golan Heights. Golan Heights is just southwest of Damascus and northeast of Israel. Now, the interesting thing about Golan Heights is this has been a UN territory under the UN control. It's been a buffer zone, actually. It is, although it is on the Israeli-Syrian side of the border, it used to be buffer zone. So Israelis moved their soldiers onto Golan Heights to position themselves on a defensive place. So it is now a new defensive front for Israel. Why will Israel do that? Why will Israeli government, IDF, quickly and swiftly move their assets onto the Golan Heights? Because they know something is coming, something big is coming. And what is coming is gonna be bigger threat to Israel than what Assad was. Israelis know this and they're preparing themselves. Turks know this, and in fact, Turks and the current HTS or the rebel group that is in Syria, they are taking position in Syria, not necessarily because they love that land very much, but Syria is becoming the new front line in war against Israel, in the Islamic war against Israel. So what has happened is only, actually, this Islamic war against Israel was being spearheaded by Shia Muslims. Once the Shia Muslims are knocked out of their power position, Sunni Muslims are coming in, taking position in the same territories in the land of Syria. And they are regrouping themselves, re-strategizing, and the end goal is Israel. They want to come against Israel. But now it is no more led by Iran. It is no more led by Hezbollah. It is now being led by Turkey. That is very interesting. And this development puts us in a very interesting place in Bible prophecy. We are coming very, very close, so very close, to two specific Bible prophecies. One is the Bible prophecy of Isaiah 17, which prophesies that Damascus will be destroyed and it will not be inhabited again. That specific prophecy in Isaiah 17 gives us the idea that something will take place there in Damascus, which will render that place uninhabitable. Now, did you know Golan Heights is just southwest of Damascus? And if you stand on Golan Heights and look further, northeast direction, or directly north actually, you will see the city of Damascus right beneath there. You will be able to see it with your naked eye, just down there. So right now, Israel is controlling Damascus. And this morning, it was on the news that Netanyahu made a declaration that until a new peace treaty is reached and signed by the current regime in Syria, and guarantees are given to Israel that Golan Heights will again be used as a neutral territory. Until that day, IDF will not leave Golan Heights because it's a very important strategic defense position. Also, if you stand on Golan Heights and if you look further southwest, you see Israeli towns and Israeli villages just beneath your eyes. So whoever stands on Golan Heights has a very advantageous position to see and to attack either direction. And right now, IDF has already positioned herself there. Israelis are taking defensive positions on Golan Heights. Why? Because they know something big is coming from the north. Now, this should already wake you up. When I say something big is coming from the north, it should wake you up in terms of Bible prophecy terminology. In the Bible prophecy, the big force of destruction that is going to come against Israel from the north is prophesied in Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38 talks about a massive war in which Gog from Magog will bring together a great alliance of Islamic nations, including Iran and Russia, and even including some NATO member European countries. Now, my friends, there is only one country right now who is capable of doing all of that. Right now in the world, there is only one country that is able to bring together most of the Muslim nations in coalition against Israel. That is Turkey. Turkey being a Sunni majority Muslim nation, only Turkey can bring together all these Sunni nations together. Also, Turkey is a member of NATO and the second largest army in NATO. Turkey has a lot of say in NATO. Turkey can also bring, if Turkey is attacked or if Turkey is in a war situation, NATO is obliged to come into defense of Turkey. Turkey is also able to bring NATO countries together with her. But another detail regarding Russia. Russia is beaten badly lately. Just yesterday, Russian army general in charge of nuclear operations has been assassinated right in front of his apartment flat. Russia is losing in Ukraine. Russia has lost in the Middle East. Russia is in a terrible shape. But when Russia is going down the way it is, when Iran is losing the plot, when Assad regime is losing the plot in Syria, there is only one person, there's only one country that is coming up and filling all these gaps. That is Turkey. Turkey is rising in prominence, in diplomatic and military presence in the Middle East and also in Europe. So Turkish rise into this prominence brings us to a place where a prophecy is made in the Bible, Ezekiel 38. Now, for many years, I have been of the opinion that Gog of Magog probably will be Russia and the Russian leader. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we misunderstood that. Maybe it's going to be Turkey. And maybe it is going to be the Turkish president who is defined as Gog from Magog. We know that Turkey and Russia, ethnically, in terms of ethnicity and in terms of geography, they are very close to one another. They share a border together. Although Russia is not a member of NATO, in fact, NATO, North Atlantic Peace Treaty Organization, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was originally formed after the Second World War against Russia, and Turkey became a part of that. Turkey actually has always maintained a friendly relationship with Russia, even to this day. And if Turkey calls on Russia to get involved in a campaign against Israel, Russia probably will be able to say yes. But no other country in the world is able to do that right now. So friends, we are looking at a situation where Ezekiel 38, prophecy of Ezekiel 38 can be fulfilled right in front of our eyes in this new year coming in 2025. At the same time, we are also looking at a situation if there is a massive military campaign against Israel from the land of Syria, and if Syria feels that they need to take more decisive military actions against Damascus, we might see in the coming months that Damascus might become destroyed to the point that it will never be inhabited again. That is the fulfillment of Isaiah 17. Could it be that in the months ahead of us, Isaiah 17 or Ezekiel 38 or both of them might be playing out right in front of our eyes? Now, if we see Isaiah 17 or Ezekiel 38 playing out, we, the believers of Jesus Christ, need to realize that the rapture of the church needs to happen either simultaneously or just after or just before these two wars. It could be that the Isaiah 17 is actually going to be a result of Ezekiel 38. It could be that the Isaiah 17, which is the destruction of Damascus, could be a result of the war of Ezekiel 38. Now, but remember, Ezekiel 38 war talks about this coalition of Islamic nations, including Shia and Sunni Muslims. As I said, only Turkey is capable of bringing all the Shia and the Muslim nations together under one flag. But did you know Turkey already did that in the past? It was known as the Ottoman Empire. And for nearly 600 years, Ottomans united all the Muslims in the world under one flag. And they then terrorized all the way into Central Europe with jihadist Islamist armies. They invaded parts of Europe and kept it under their control for a very long time. Only Turkey is capable of bringing together a coalition which is of the great size and great complex nature of Ezekiel 38. Interestingly, in Ezekiel 38 coalition, you see Shia Muslim countries and Sunni Muslim countries together, as well as Russia. As I said, only Turkey is capable of bringing them together. Of course, I also need to mention that Gomer, Germany, is also going to be part of this coalition. Very interesting developments. And again, Turkey has been friendlies with Germany pretty much all her history. Even in the days of Ottoman Empire, they were allies. So could it be that we are going to see these things fulfilling right in front of our eyes in the next few weeks and months? Now, another very amazing detail about the Ezekiel 38 war is, if you carefully read Ezekiel 38 and 39, you see that God will defeat this great coalition that comes against Israel in the valley of Yehoshaphat. And after God defeats them, Israelis will go and bury the dead soldiers lying in the plains, and this burying of dead soldiers will take 7 months. Then Israelis will go and collect the weapons and weapons fields that is left behind by the defeated coalition armies. And it will take Israelis 7 years to burn those fields that they will just pick up from the grounds after the war. Go read go read Ezekiel 38 and 39. You will see all these things written there very carefully. Now, if that is the description, that means after the war of Ezekiel 38 is completed, there is going to be another 7 years where Israelis will still live and collect these fuel systems and fuels and burn them just for daily use. That then means, my friends, the war of Ezekiel 38 cannot happen later than at least 7 years prior to the physical coming of Jesus Christ. In other words, Ezekiel 38 war cannot happen at least 7 years prior to the war of Armageddon, which is the war of Jesus Christ that Jesus Christ is going to wage against the Antichrist at the end of 7 years tribulation. So could it be that the Ezekiel 38 war will actually coincide with the rapture of the church and also coincide with the beginning of the 7-year tribulation? We are looking at amazing developments playing out right in front of our eyes. The world is changing. Recently, as recent as a month ago, I was talking to a businessman from Europe, and this person told me that in Europe, businesses as well as governments are preparing a very big war in the Middle East. Big businesses are moving their assets around the world, preparing themselves. Factories are preparing themselves. Governments are preparing themselves. In the Middle East and in Europe, there is a big war anticipated in the next few weeks and months to come. Right now we see stages being set, and the new stage is Syria. New stage for this big war is Syria. And the new enemy is Israel, and Israel knows about it. They're preparing themselves. Friends, war is never a pleasant thing, but these are prophesied in the Bible, and things are playing out as they're being prophesied in the Bible. Let's keep our eyes on Jesus Christ. This might very well be the last Christmas that we will be able to celebrate. Maybe we won't even see the Christmas. Maybe the rapture will happen before that time. Now, by the way, regarding Christmas, I'm going to make another video soon, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, on the prophetic significance of celebrating the birth of Christ. If you want to know about that, stay tuned. A new video is coming on this subject. May our Lord Jesus Christ bless you, and goodbye.